Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Let's get the elephant in the room out the way. Yes, I am beardless. Commitments for Halloween never rest. Best night of the year. Got to go full on. But we're here to talk about the game we just watched at Celtic Park. Celtic 0, Livingston 0. It feels in a way, I don't want to overreact, but it does feel in a way one of those games where all of the hard work of the last 4 or 5 games has just went completely out the window because we've dropped points in what you would have called the easiest game on the kind of fixture list up to this point. It was the one game that I think we looked back at and went, okay, Easter Road, Pittodrie, Firth Park could struggle, could drop points. Livingston at Celtic Park should be 3 points there. But as we know with Celtic, it's never that simple. It's never that easy, and we can't sleep on any game. Yes, it's a game we should be winning, and I'm very disappointed we didn't, and I'm very disappointed in the performance today. But you know, Livingston turned up. They terrorised us. Not in the way that you think through attacking football with chances. They just are terrorists. Livingston Football Club are terrorists. Bin Laden FC, whatever you want to call it, they're just terrorists. Horrible, horrible, horrible. You know, you can't. Sometimes it's just impossible to beat these teams. They just have such an urgency not to win the game that it just makes it impossible. But fair play to them. They have a game plan. They stuck to the game plan. And they made life hard for Celtic today. We were very, very poor though. We were incredibly poor, and we'll kind of run through that in a fashion which might make this one of the shorter 3 things we've learned videos, because I don't feel like we necessarily learned anything today. Not anything productive anyway. And I also feel like there was a real lack of quality in the game for us to talk about. You know, it wasn't a game that provided chances for Celtic. We were barely on the edge of our seats. We couldn't break Livingston down today. We'll come on to the big chance at the end of the game in a moment. But, you know, we kept going down wide. We kept crossing the ball. I can't remember a successful cross. I think we maybe had 1 or 2 that made their way to a Celtic player. But, we couldn't do it. We couldn't cross the ball. We've been ineffective at that for quite a while. But today, we couldn't. Big Giacomakis wasn't even getting on the end of anything. You know, I think he attempted an overhead kick in the first half and got fouled for it. I think he maybe met it with his head once in the second half or something. But, you know, we couldn't do it. And then every time we tried to go through the middle, you know, this is where I would normally come in and go, Celtic have got to learn to change it up. But we couldn't play through the middle today. Livingston were so tight. To every man. They had 10 men behind the ball at all times. The black shirt ratio to Celtic players was just unbelievable. You know, there was a Livingston player covering, it felt like every blade of grass. It was impossible for us to go through the middle and create something. That's why we kept going out wide. We kept launching balls in that were going nowhere. And we just had a real lack of quality today, and a real lack of, you know, that final third provided nothing for us. And that was even by when we made changes as well. And it's hard because there's a balance here as a supporter and as someone who comes on every week to talk about the games. There's a real hard balance you need to find here, and criticising the team and going, okay, you know, we just couldn't break them down. You know, how bad, but I thought we were just genuinely really poor today. I just watched the game and didn't feel a real energy from us. And yeah, we get that at the end, a draw, and it's just disappointing, isn't it? Think that, right, if we're going to get into this discussion, then I'll get on to the 3 things we learned. As I said, this isn't going to be the greatest of match reviews. It was just a fucking mess of a game to watch, really. That instant in the 90th minute, the penalty, the golden chance to take home all 3 points after knocking on the door and getting nothing. You know, I say knocking on the door. As I said, I still don't feel we didn't create any convincing chances. There was a couple that went narrowly wide or whatnot, but there was nothing that made you, you know, there was nothing major for Celtic throughout that game. But the golden chance came in the 90th minute. A penalty given for a bizarre moment of madness at the opposite end of the stadium from me. A red card for Livingston. We've got a penalty there. I'm sitting thinking, oh, Josip Juranovic, step right up. No, we give the penalty to Giacomakis. It utterly baffles me, and I didn't open my mouth, and I actually told off my pal that I sat at the games with. I told off David. I said, fucking shut up, because he said he's going to miss this. He's going to miss this. He knew it, and so did I, but I just didn't want to say it. I didn't want to jinx it. I kept my mouth shut. I told me, shut up, and watch the penalty. And we did watch the penalty. We watched an awful penalty roll into the hands of the Livingston goalkeeper. Why on God's earth do you take off a penalty taker? Not take off, he didn't sub him off. Why do you take the man off penalties who scored his last 2 penalties? And not just scored them, but scored them rather convincingly. Why? For a guy who has barely played for Celtic, You know, he's racked up a couple of appearances. He's scored 1 goal. He hasn't, you know, I wouldn't say he's blazing with confidence. Why? In that moment. You know, it's okay, right? If you're up 2-0 and you've got a penalty, okay, give him it. Try and let him get a goal, get his confidence up. You're 0-0 in the 90th minute in a game which could put you top of the table if you win. And they send him up to the spot and he fucking misses. I just knew it was coming. In my head, I just knew it. Because we took Juranovic off it. It baffles me. And that decision is piss poor. Like, I don't think that... I can't stress this enough, and I don't know how much it'll get spoke about. That is an incredibly poor decision. And if it's from Ange Postecoglou, it's a very bad decision from him to change that penalty taker in a moment like that. Juranovic should be taking it. Now, that's not me going out and throwing Ange under the bus. I love the big guy. He's doing a solid job at the moment. But that's a terrible, terrible decision, and we need to learn from that. I don't expect to see Giakoumakis. Look, I just feel like it's an unwritten rule in football that if there's a guy in the team scoring penalties, you keep him on the penalties. You know, that should be as simple as that. I don't know why you change it. And obviously we don't see what happens in training every day. Who knows? Maybe Giakoumakis was fucking hitting them in at left, right and centre this week and Juranovic was skying him over the bar. Maybe that was the case. But I just do not understand, and we threw away a massive, massive opportunity. So there's the first thing we've learned. Don't piss about with penalty takers. And that is a problem at Celtic. I don't feel like we have enough penalty takers at the moment. Of course, McGregor stepped up. I've no confidence in penalties. Ban them from Celtic Park, is what I say. Ban them. Get rid of them. No penalties fucking allowed for anybody. Any team. No cunt. No allowed. McGregor missed his last one. Giakoumakis missed that. We don't have any. Kyogo's never took a penalty. We don't know what he's like. Juranovic is our only penalty taker at the moment, and for a fullback to be the only sort of viable option is worrying. Striker. The way he took that penalty looks as though he's never struck a ball in his life today. So I'm very disappointed. And that's the first thing I think we'll learn. Second thing, well, Rogic was missing, wasn't he? Big time. There's been ups and downs this season with Rogic and Turnbull, but we missed him today. Missed him big time today. I think that was evident. Beaton, Beaton really annoyed me today. I don't think it was necessarily bad, but there was a couple of occasions he let the ball roll right under his foot. He keeps trying to kill the ball with his studs. Fucking wrap it in. Take the ball and turn with it. Do something. Don't just... He tries to stamp on it with his studs and it goes under his foot. He done it 2 or 3 times today. I'm like, what are you doing? Stop it. Just try and take the ball on your foot like anybody else inside your foot and go. But Rogic was missing today big time. We need a player like him in that team. We need that creativity, that guy that can take the ball in tight areas and create something. Because I just feel like we miss that. There's a real criticism of Rogic at times, and it's justified at times as well. But today he was missing. I thought we really did need him back in that team. It shows how big a player he is, and we've questioned that midfield, but just, we lacked a spark at points, and he could have brought that, I think, if he was in the team today. And I don't necessarily have a third thing, because if I run through the team, players did work hard today, and they tried. It was just a real lack of quality in the final third, I think, for me today. But there was one thing, and this is something that's not been really spoke about in social media, but I'm going to bring it up from my own attention in the game. And I don't know if a lot of people necessarily agree with me on this. Now, I'm chuffed that James Forrest is back. Chuffed. We need him. We need options. He's a player of great quality. He's been a servant at Celtic now for years. And it's important to have him as an option in the team for his experience and his what he offers. Brilliant. Today, when he was subbed on at that moment in time, I was happy because I thought, right, okay, we need a goal. We've only got one more really attacking option. We can change it to Forrest. Now that I look at it in hindsight, it was the wrong substitution to make. We should not have made that substitution, I think. He's been out for months. He's not kicked a ball. We're in a desperate situation when we need something. And I thought Jota was one of the players who could provide something, and we took Jota off the park for him. Now, yes, it's great to get Forrest back, get him back in the team, but bring him in at a more suitable time. At the time, I was all for it. Now, looking at hindsight, it was the wrong sub. He came on. I thought he looked a little more negative as the game went on. He started okay, and then I thought Turnbull and Ralston were doing a lot more work on that right-hand side than he was. I just think that with him just returning and just getting back, it wasn't the time to do it. And taking Jota off was probably a bit costly. My opinion, I don't know if you'll agree, but I just think in hindsight it was the wrong sub to make. But look, it was piss poor today. We can't afford to drop Kyogo anymore. I was all for it, and I had my hands up. I was guilty. I was guilty of saying drop Kyogo, keep him for midweek. He's too important. He's too good. He's twice the players Giakoumakis is at this moment in time. And we need to play these players. If we want to win the league title, we can't drop the best players for European games, I'm afraid. We've got to play them every time we play. And that was proven today. But that's it. That'll do it. Just annoyed. Just really frustrated from today's game. But we'll pick ourselves up. We'll go. Hopefully we get a result on Thursday. And we need to pick up in the league. We need to hope for a favour tomorrow as well. But look, just got it in November. We're only 2 points, or sorry, a point, I think, behind Rangers at this moment in time. It's not the end of the world. So, aye, like and subscribe. See you all next time.